All right. Happy Friday, everybody. It is January. We're already like damn well halfway into January. January 23rd. My name is Morgenrede. This is Media Agnostic Doom Journaling. This is a weekly Friday open mic series for writers, poets, and people that are depressed going through winter storms, which seems to be a lot of us here. I am in the Mid South and I'm waiting for White Death to come upon me, but hasn't come yet. Anyways, we've got a lot of great repeat poets and writers here that are going to share their work. Starting off the night is the first person who let me know that they wanted to read, and that's Rudy Johnson.
Oh shit. It's that nigga. Um,
Also, wait, did you want to share your
so
screen? That let me.
yeah, I will probably need to share my screen for this one.
Let's see.
It's
Let
actually
me
not like a poem or anything. It's some bullshit. So
here. Let me figure out how I can. Let's see. Host tools.
hell yeah.
Allow ARP. Okay, there we go. You should be allowed to share your screen now.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Let me see what I can do here. How the fuck do I shut that? Oops. Hope I don't want to do that. This new Zoom is kind of getting me, but
Dude, yeah, new
okay,
Zoom
so I
is
think I can
fucking whack.
share. Yeah. Okay, I think I can share it. Let me see. Here I go. You guys see this bullshit?
Let's see.
Where are you putting it?
Yeah, I can see it.
It should be in my or it should bring up a thing that says like somebody's sharing or whatever, and it just comes up.
On the chat? No, you mean,
Nope, it should come
oh, I see. Screen share. I got it.
screen share. Yep, that
I
gotcha.
found it.
Okay.
Okay, you're playing a game?
Yeah, it's a so this is for a RPG that I was working on.
Cool.
Basically the conceit of it is that you make abstract art and then you interpret that art to make the little dungeons or whatever in the game. And so I'm gonna make some abstract art for you.
Hell yeah.
I guess that's what I'll do. There's like little bugs and shit flying around. But I wanted to with the interface here, you can see it. Basically, I wanted to make it so that well, it has a non-standard interface. So I'm gonna refresh this. I can do that. Oh, it won't let me refresh the screen. Oh, hold on. Yeah, well, I'm retarded. Yeah, let's start a new thing here. And like, so basically, like all these bugs and like things on the screen, it's like some Wizard's Tower type esque dealy it's supposed to be depicting. These are like books, fucking big globe you can play with,
Oh, nice.
bugs you can fuck up and shit. And then there's this big thing here. It's like supposed to be this magic wand, like some kind of weird fucking thing with like a big hoop dealy on it, and it basically is like a portal to another world. The conceit of the game is basically that you're this you're a child soldier who works, well, I say works, but I guess has been impressed in the Ukrainian sense. I mean the anyway, you've been conscripted by this necromancer, and she uses children because she makes them stare into this magic wand, um, that goes to it creates like these portals to other worlds, and she uses children because like the wand has a brain or some kind of like mind, and it interprets things that people see, and creates the worlds with them. And the reason for like the children is like basically like she's so jaded and so fucked up that the things she would see in the wand would make the worlds harder to invade, harder for her to, use her forces to invade or whatever, because it have like monsters or whatever. But if a kid sees it, just be, oh, hey, it's like a good little time or something, or an imagination game or whatever. But anyway, this program is designed to do that, like for players, basically for the GMs. The GM would use a program and pretty much give the players something to interpret. So I'm going to try to do something here. So I'm gonna hit this button, generate a cool world. That's the name of the world. The shifting crematorium for the Indian gifted. That's all randomly generated, and this and the globe, all this stuff. Like when you move the globe around, like it kind of has some effect on like what the world will look like. These little bugs and shit. You crush some of the mosquitoes, they'll like do some shit. Like when the world starts getting generated, it'll change like how it's formed and kind of that kind of thing. So let me hit this bug here. I'm gonna crush this bug and get the shit started here. Let's get this party
Oh fuck,
started.
you can kill the bugs?
Yeah, because that bug starts the generation of the thing. This what you're seeing here is basically like the world being constructed or whatever.
So
It's
like
kind of slow because it's hmm?
is it like a sacrifice? Like or not like throwing a little bug into like a witch's brew and that gets the whole fucking process going?
Pretty much, yeah. You're killing this bug, and he gives his life to basically, yeah, to power this
Sick.
wand or whatever. I don't know, some kind of shit. But the interpretation aspect is actually something I'd like to test out if people are game because I just want to see what the hell this looks like to anybody. I'm not even sure what it looks like to me, but I do occasionally see some things in here. They're like, oh, like that's this or whatever. That's that. So once it gets finished, it should be almost finished doing its thing. But does anybody see anything in here? I'm not biased. I mean, I don't know.
I see Beavis from Beavis and Butthead kind of in the middle, like the center of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I see is like his brow, like kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, like his fucking. Okay, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. No wrong answer. So jump in, whatever you see, like see it.
I see
Yeah,
like
like
an
a,
MRI. That's
An
what I
MRI,
think.
really?
Yeah, that's what I
Oh shit.
think when
Okay,
I see this.
like. Oh, okay, like the imaging scan or
The
like the actual
imaging
picture
of
it
a head.
generates, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I have seen MRI. Yeah, I did. They did one on my head before, so yeah, I could see that too. Definitely, that's sick.
And also
Um,
the ink test that they do when they check your veins, where they
hmm.
inject a blue dye and it becomes like iridescent.
Oh, okay.
I
The
don't know
color
if you
is
see
actually
that.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see some of that color here. It's like that vibrant, like what? It's like radioactive ink or something they put in you when they or something like that, right?
There's two. There's one that's derived from horseshoe crabs that would probably instantly kill me because I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh
And then
shit.
there's the alternative, which probably is toxic as well, but a different kind of toxic.
Hmm. Damn, yeah, I've heard of the horseshoe crab one. That's the shit they milk them for, right? They milk them for the hell
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, basically like what I would do as a GM is just take all the things that you guys said and pretty much run down a checklist that has questions like, well, this like how did they give the answer? Like did they say it like long-windedly? Did they say something like tell a little anecdote like Lisa you just did, or did they like were they antagonistic? That's one big one. If people say like "fuck," I don't see anything, or "fuck you," I don't want to like "fuck your butt" or something. Yeah, you could use that, and ticking off each of these boxes would like generate a little part of the world. So like antagonism, like it's gonna put in some big monster, some big ass fucking like maybe if it's like oh hey, I don't know, it looks kind of like my dick or something. Like it'll put your dick in the thing. And that's the other thing is if you reference like personal stuff, like hey, like that reminds me of the time I did this or the time I went to like my dad's house or did something like that. It'll like put that in the game. So that's pretty much how it works. It's just a little like means to pretty much generate something on the fly. And these pictures are generated by it's basically a big collage machine. I took like some art, like some MS Paint art that I made, and then I processed it once through another generator that I have that I built and then I process it again through a bunch of other stuff. It's been like I've been working on this for like a couple of years, and I've taken like each version of the generator's results, and they're kind of wind up in this. So there's not like a huge amount of like cohesion to what the original stuff was. Like it's pretty much like just random MS Paint drawings. So like stuff that kind of looks necromancy, I guess. I don't know. But a lot of it is just shit that's like on my mind and whatever. It's kind of goofy art. I threw it into here, and you probably can't see really any of the, it's like stick figures and other stuff. You can't really see any of it anymore because it's been so thoroughly collaged and
It's
like
blended
beaten
really
together with
well.
other shit. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, thanks. I did a lot of iterations of like the other generators, so like it's pretty much like all bootstrap, like built on top of the previous versions of the generator. So that's why like it kind of goes together like it does because I use no joke, I'm using like probably about 3 to 5 mixed blend mode effects in JavaScript, if you know what those are like. So it's all like overlays and multiplies and that kind of thing. So it's very heavily like collaged, I guess. Let me see
Does
if we
anybody else
can.
see the faces?
I can
Oh,
kind of
The
sorry.
small
see.
faces?
I could see small faces. Yeah.
Aces. Oh shit. Oh, I see some. Yeah, I see like this little
I see
guy
a
here, like
lot.
this
I see
little.
like almost like those like skull
Yep.
hill things.
It tends to like to make skulls and like slimy looking like mushroom people. I guess that's one thing. Which it's interesting because there's not a lot of like skull. There's some skulls in the original images and stuff, but I doubt any of them are coming through. I think it just that's just how the pattern does it or whatever. It
Yeah. Well,
just
you just had
happens
the
to get
cursor
to
that
do it
there was like a little cluster of skulls, skull-like things.
right here.
No, towards the
Yeah,
left.
to the left. Oh, over here. Oh, these red things here.
Not the red, the green, a little bit lower.
Oh, here. Okay, I think. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
some
and if
like
you keep
little.
going down, you see more. Or I see more.
Uh, okay. I can see some here, like in this like green
Yeah.
blue area. Yeah, definitely. Let's try another one. Let's try another result here because um let's see. These like little maps or whatever globes it generates are just kind of like the seed for it. So this thing goes into the image somewhere too and helps generate it. So do that. Let's see. All right, let's kill this bug. Bang. All right, let's do it. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit these little these mosquitoes here while we're doing it because these do have some effect on the randomization. They it's basically like ticking check boxes sort of for options without a real options menu.
Well, that's kind
Let's
of
see.
cool.
Let's get her. Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Like it's more like with I don't know, like not so like answering questions, it's more so like through action that you
Mhm.
generate this collage.
This one's like electric.
Yeah, yeah. That's the electric thing is like it's generating. It's like that's like while it's generating, that should stop soon after it does enough of it, basically.
It wasn't as bright before.
Yeah, some of them are brighter. Like the colors are brighter. It basically rotates around like it uses hue rotate in JavaScript to change the colors at random pretty much each time. So sometimes you get really bright ones. Sometimes you'll get a lot of dark towards the center, like this region here, like it's like almost black, and like this is like a really white. Like for here, for example, I see like a lot of almost like an area in fog or some kind of like graveyard or something like that. I don't even know. Looks like kind of foggy there. And then here you got like some water or some little misty water maybe.
It seems like there's lots of splatter of blood on this piece. Like there's a lot of red splatters in between
I
everything.
see some of the Yep, I see some of the red splatters here. There's some red over here. Looks like some kind of head maybe or yeah.
That's so trippy.
Yeah, it's kind of like psychedelic, I guess. Maybe art. I'm not sure really what type of abstract it would be.
This is like
Not really on the like. Mhm.
like psychedelics on psychedelics, like almost, I mean, like it's got the digital, like the pixelated kind of look, like
Yeah.
if you were going through a
Oh yeah.
psychedelic trip and then it was like your vision or your perception was through pixels, like this is what this would remind me of.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. So you were seeing like different pixelation instead of like different colors or whatever. It was kind of
Yes.
If you come up with a
cool. Hell yeah,
narrative
dude.
for
Yeah.
it, I can see it in a gallery space as a like a multimedia
Oh, like an
presentation.
Absolutely.
installation type thing or
Yeah.
something. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people. I was just interested in what you guys would see like when you look at it. Because one thing I want to do like when I play the game is like integrate different things that people say about it. So I just wanted to make sure it actually there was stuff people could see, you know. And yeah, so that cool. But yeah, that's all I want to show off. Pretty much just this fucking thingy what.
I
Yeah, oh
love
these bugs are
how,
flying in like a fucking
yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know, just so simple. You scroll and you reload, and every time you get this new like a prompt and the killing of the bugs and that globe, as like a kind of a model for I don't know, it almost looks like a heat map of like color. Let's see,
Oh.
gay dreamscape where the banjos venerate.
No, it's funny you should say heat map. It's a height map actually. It is that's exactly what it is. It's so I took a texture and then the way it applies it to a globe, like you've seen like the contour maps of like elevation and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
basically what it is. It puts that it makes that into 3D. It uses 3JS like the plugin for JavaScript, and it makes that it basically takes a image that's colored, and each of the colors it applies an elevation to. That's exactly what it is. Good eye, yeah.
So cool. Can you spin it? Can you spin the globe?
Yeah, you spin the globe. Yeah, you just spin it whatever direction. And actually, when you do that, like, so if I have this part facing it, it's gonna be different from if I have this thing facing it.
Oh man, that's
So
so
if I do
cool.
that, there'll be a lot of white. If I do that, there'll be a little blue and some stuff. Like when I do it, and that's what it looks like when it's not really generating or anything.
Oh
Kill
man.
the bug, and it's like, yo. But I spent
Way that it
all of the
loads.
day just fucking around with the, yeah,
Almost it's kind of like if you took a paintbrush and you just like dabbed, or almost like a sponge and dipped it into like a like a collection of different paint colors and you just kind of like dabbed it on a canvas. Like it's so
yeah.
cool
No,
how
that's
the
very much.
like the idea of this is so fantastical. I mean, of course, with like, having this little kid like looking through this like portal to like another world, like through like they're like conscripted to do this, you said?
Yeah, I mean, they're child soldiers, so she just, killed their family and told them, hey, you're gonna stare into this wand all day, pretty much.
Jesus, it's so fucking wild. But like there's also this kind of like horrific beauty with what you're able to create.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it creates some images I really like. It's kind of neat. I think it's a weird way to collage stuff, I guess, but I think it creates some interesting stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
that's pretty.
like Jeff said, very like Pollock, like instead of like dripping paint, it's
Mm.
like dripping pixels. Oh, it's so fucking
Yeah, no,
cool.
that's exact. It was one inspiration was like Kandinsky, I guess, and I mean, yeah, Pollock too. I guess it's more on like the horror vacui, like maximalist type spectrum, like not really like Rothko, I guess, but something more like Kandinsky or Pollock stuff, or I guess a little
Man,
bit of impressionism in there, maybe some Monet like with the pixel art, but
speaking my
it's pretty
language,
pretty
man. I
well.
fucking love Kandinsky.
I like him a lot. Yeah, he makes some really good shit. Um, yeah, it's the inspiration. So I'm gonna unshare my screen. Hell yeah. But thanks for letting me do my thing.
Yeah, of course. That was I mean, always like, there's that side of you where you have that like crazy witty poetry with like just the way that you're able to like play with different topics and interweave them together and you have this like nefarious string that you're able to like sew into these topics, but then you have the fucking software and like app creation and these games that you have where they're like, I mean, just the creativity is like limitless with what you're able to do here, and to put that creativity in your games is, I mean, I've seen a lot of pictures that you've shared on your social media of like the art that you can create, and I don't know, those scripts and like top the ways that you're able to interact with the game to create these collages. It's just so fucking cool.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. That's fun. I like integrating like art shit into games, like like collage especially is a big deal for me. But
Hey,
yeah.
Rudy, have you written a lot for video games?
Uh, you mean like written a lot of code or like
Well, like an RPG or something.
Oh, well, like yeah, so like this is from like a tabletop RPG. So I write like yeah, basically like supplements and I guess you'd call it little games and stuff. Tabletop games like faux Dungeons and Dragons. Not exactly Dungeons and Dragons, but more sick, I guess, more fucked up. Little. But no,
Like a
I
part of
write
the.
it. That's
Good. I
mhm.
mean, were you a part of the OSR?
OSR I haven't done much with, but I like Morkborg and I
What's
recently have been
that?
playing Morkborg and what's that?
What's what's OSR?
Old school Renaissance.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
So
it's basically oh you can explain it, Peter, if you want. Sorry.
no, Rudy, it's your time.
Yeah, it's your time, Rudy.
No,
You have
no,
to
no.
explain.
I
I'm
was
just
just gonna
kidding.
say. I was just gonna say it's basically like people who play like black box D&D style games, which is the black box like the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons, where very rules is written like you have to, go in the dungeon, you got a referee that basically says, hey, you follow the rules. And it's also very lethal. I know most OSR games are known for being pretty fucking lethal. So you make multiple characters up during the session, most die, as far as I understand it. If there's anything Peter wants to add, that yeah, go ahead. But I know it's very
Yeah,
lethal for my.
yeah. I tried. I basically have run those games for like 8 years or something, and there's been so many times
Oh
where I would
shit.
like
Okay.
get a group of people together, and they're like, "We're gonna
hmm
have a D&D campaign," and then like day one, they would almost all
hmm
die, and then like no one would want to continue playing.
No, that OSR is pretty sick. Like, I guess like there's like D&D, like you get magic items and your characters grow and stuff like that. But OSR is kind of like, well, you better be ready with your guy's like fucking son or his daughter or whatever when he dies. You can play that character because your character you probably go through like 4 or 5 characters in one session.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's like the whole party gets wiped multiple times. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I like that kind of play myself. I like
Me
it.
too. Me too. It's my preferred. I bring it up just because I don't know. I know lots of people wrote RPG stuff,
Oh, okay, yeah.
JRPG stuff, and yeah, it's interesting. Isn't it great? It's awesome. It's like
Yeah.
it's very. It's like I think it's like one of the ways that you can create a published like multiply sort of uh multiple forms of art at the same time, centered around writing.
hmm
They
Yeah.
create like fantasy in an interesting way. Like I don't know. I guess you could write a short story, or you could like make a RPG module. Like those are two. If
Yeah,
you
no,
wanted to be a
module is definitely really multidisciplinary. I guess not to sound
yeah
like a fucking art retard or whatever, but yeah, it's definitely like a lot of stuff, a lot of skills going into it. I'd be
yeah
interested to see like some of the stuff like people wrote and Sarah you wrote because
oh
I'm really
yeah
into making this shit. It's cool.
yeah. I have a bunch of stuff. Shit. God. The top guy was Zach Sabbath. You heard of Zach Sabbath? Zach Smith.
Yes,
Zach
I've heard of
Sabbath.
Zach. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Super uber canceled. Zach Sabbath.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Canceled into the fucking ground by
yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
yeah. He's quite the debater. uh,
Yeah, see, not to take up, I don't want to take up too much time here, but
You're good.
me and William, okay, me and William were in the cancel sphere for a lot of the RPG shit, because basically the dickheads that were there were like, so when we released the Misery Index, which is our RPG book thing we did before Misery Tourism, Like they tried to cancel us because there were games in there. Like there's like one of my games had like zombies in a school shooting or some shit. Like the kids come to school to shoot it up, but then a zombie outbreak happens, and they're the only ones with guns, so they're
That's
heroes.
awesome.
And like people are like, well, but they're like, well, fuck you, you can't. That's an insensitive portrayal of et cetera, et cetera. And or you should do it in a different way that condemns school shootings. I don't know how you would condemn it anymore, but either way. But and they also took issue with some of the like racial themes and stuff. Like the book says the N word. One guy said like, no person of color would ever play these games. And then we showed a picture of me, like they were like, "Oh, they shut up." Like, "Oh, why didn't you say he was black?" And all this, shit like okay, donkey level shit. But no, it was really like the community for tabletop RPGs is one of the worst communities I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything that bad. It's some of the stupidest people in the world saying the stupidest shit the loudest and the most social justicey and the most just people I wouldn't even piss on if they were on fire, and it's
Right.
infinitely frustrating. So yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I was way into that stuff for a while and part of the alt scene. And okay, yeah, well, let's talk about it. Maybe I'll send you one of
Yeah,
my
hit me up.
PDFs or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Send it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Colton, yeah, thank you, host, for
Yeah, of course, dude. I loved
and
hearing
thank you to
y'all
everyone who
give us a little
yeah.
history of the tabletop RPG fucking community because I tried to play D&D way back, and yeah, there's definitely some of those types where like you couldn't really like there was like, oh no, you have to play
Yeah.
like this and you can't be, and I'm like, well, this is gay. Like I want to be, I want to spice this up, I want to like be more creative, but
Right.
no,
Did
No,
that
that's
really like
definitely my thing.
restrict you on like your creative choices?
It's more like a thing like with the community as far as like the designers and stuff are very much not into transgressive works. I mean, the community hasn't gotten to that point yet, right? Where they're accepting of stuff like writing or like art and stuff is. Mostly because it's full of frankly autistic social retards. And I'm one. But people that go too hard and take shit too literally. That's literally I mean
Uh-huh.
that's what it is, honestly. So
it's like weird for people that are purely trying to have these like fantasy escape games that they're so still tied to like real life like principles and like ways of thinking, and it's like you can't like let things be a little edgy for this. Like everything's got to be super like high and dry. Like I don't know.
yeah, you got all the safe space people, but for me, like play is a safe space. Like the whole point of play is you can play with unsafe concepts in a safe place. It's like, well, why would you want to play as a pedophile? It's like, I don't know. So like I can rape people in a game. Like I don't know. Like why not? Like that's what I'm saying. It's a place to play with unsafe shit where you won't get hurt. I mean, that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah,
And I'm playing with my friends. I'm playing with, whatever. I wouldn't probably do that at a convention, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
go to a convention because that's gay. So I mean, but anyway, no, sorry to take up your time. I'll say no more.
what a
Well, it's
great
like
way
if you
to
play
put
like
it.
Grand Theft Auto and you start killing people, it's not like
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
not like
that's a good point.
it's a great
Yeah,
point.
hmm
I
I've
don't
been playing
know.
Red Dead Redemption. I just kill all the fucking horses. That doesn't mean want to go kill
yeah,
horses.
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Instead of like killing all the KKK, you just like kind of like
I
sit
just
there in the
you
bushes.
murder all their horses and they can't fucking go anywhere. It fucks them up.
What are they gonna do? Run?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right.
We're at
Thank
each
you,
other.
Rudy. Thank you for showing us again this creative side of your projects. And you and Peter should definitely link up and do some crazy like VR like meets like scripted
Oh yeah,
coded like art. Like I think that would be fucking cool as hell.
I'll send the PDF of my best work to the chat right now. That's what I'll do.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Who said that misery not oh I almost said miseryless company. Who said that media agnostic doom journaling doesn't inspire uh people to collab? The hottest collabs of all time. Uh I don't know. I think this is probably like the first instance of that, but anyways. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next reader, who I believe was who had their let's see, it was Rudy, and then it was Lisa. Lisa, you are up next.
Okay, so I'm gonna read a flash. It's going up tomorrow, actually,
Ooh,
and
where's it going?
later Gorko Gazette
Hell yeah, okay.
and on somebody's Patreon later next week. But the story, it's a little auto fiction. But today I had three different friends. I had a weird dream last night, and then I had three different friends that hadn't hit me up in a long time hit me up and asked if I was okay because they dreamt of me that night, last night, and it spooked them. And nobody wanted to tell me their dream, but I insisted. And the three people coincided in the same, almost exactly the same dream. And
That's
the
trippy.
themes of the dream are the themes of this flash. So I'll start off the flash now. It's titled Unsolicited. The direct message inbox was full of dick pics. It was standard Friday evening fare, something neither welcome nor rejected, expected but always unsolicited. Never before had the mail form caused such disgust. But upon opening that third message, the reaction was visceral. Visceral. Describing the image would only serve as a reminder, but it was certainly a memory that should be forgotten. Though unsolicited, it came with a request of reciprocity. Imagine that, the gall to expect something in return. But there exists a gun. Well, there exists a gun at the night table, as has been expressed before, and a gun worn on a holster for work, and also a collection of gun show guns, and on top of all the guns, easy access to residences by nature of work. Previous two dick pics were impeccable, one a gif and the other a still, both well lubricated with girth and length, and apparent heft, no demands, just the joy of a naughty surprise. No background distractions present nor masked, and most importantly, no visible menacing strap, no holster as a reminder of that ever-present gun. Uncertain if it was a mistake or a threat, red lipstick was immediately applied, and the cotton bra interchanged with lace. The camera phone was angled to perfectly capture the pout and cleavage, but just enough slip of the nip. Snapshot after snapshot, careful not to show face, and off was the request to DM that was met with an unexpected shuddering. The shuddering was a sly social media notification of a saved screenshot, now a disabled feature on the app. Flushed with worry, a review of the pics confirmed the subject was sexy, but not identifiable. Ever the muse, these were not the first nudes, but as professionalism dictates, the first required signed release, and with the release, confirmation when sold to a collector. A collector may or may not threaten a social worker with the release of indecent memoria, but a man with a gun? Certainly, certainly and swiftly. Concern facilitated conversation. Wow, long. Only long was used as a descriptor because it was neither complimentary nor insulting, the same reasoning behind wow as a reaction. What followed was graphic and best forgotten as well, but nothing nagged more aggressively than the possibility of an impromptu visit. By nature of international circumstances, most were caged to their abodes until the risk of infection was quantifiably reduced. Until then, predator eased onto prey whoever couldn't flee. Googling the self-produced two addresses. The current one received a takedown request that was promptly granted. The second, a previous address, was left listed as a diversion. The resident was surely notified of any attempts of trespassing. The next step was awareness. Spreading a seed of factual information was responsible, not gossip. A noble character always warns others in danger of perpetrators of violence severe enough to merit a suspension from the work. Punishment for excessive force is never unwarranted. Wary are the wise. Still, the risk remained high, and a knife was procured. Yes, a knife was procured for a gunfight. A knife and a solicited roster of those that have nothing to lose. And that's the end of that piece.
Wicked. So three people had a dream about you.
Three people said they walked into a dark bedroom where I was sitting on a bed taking pictures of myself. And when they looked closer, they realized they were in the room with me. And I was not posing for a picture. I was posing like towards a mirror. And when they turned to the left, there were other women also like scantily clad around me. So we weren't alone. It was like a party. And when they woke up, they felt hungover. Last night when I woke up thirsty, like I'd been drinking and I hadn't drank at all. But I woke up like, why do I feel this way? Ready to chug so much water. And I was like, my dream was I was in the bath and someone entered the bathroom and sat next to me in the tub. And I said to the person, it wasn't an identifiable person, it was like a shadow. Just because I'm alone doesn't mean you can be here. And it got up and left.
Wait, that's weird. It's so trippy. But like, I don't know
So I was telling that to my gay friend with the other three people that I haven't spoken with in a long time. We're like, oh, are you okay? I saw you in a dream.
See, that's already like when you say I saw you in a dream, immediately what first goes to mind is like, okay, did we fuck? Like, was I naked? Like, 'cause
Yeah, like
dreams are always so like they're not sexual, but they're like sexual coded kind of. Like something is always off, you know?
yeah, and you're always left wondering, like, did they really have the dream, or did they have the dream? Were they already thinking about you and they had the dream and that pushed them to call you or text you or whatever?
Yeah.
But like, according to what was said, like it was just really random, and they like all three coincided.
I love how the piece started off with the dick pic in the group chats, in the group text, which is already like a very like because usually a dick pic is sent by one person, but to have this group, to have this like multiple dick pics, kind of adds to kind of like what your dream was, where it's like this intrusion. There's like a lot of intrusion into other spaces prevalent in this piece, and I kind of like made the connection between like the guy with the gun and like a person sending a dick pic into a group chat. Like there is this like there's a you bring a loaded gun or like a loaded piece with you, whether it's a phallic piece or a loaded weapon, kind of like I don't know, like very what am I thinking of, like not rules of attraction, but what's that other erotic, I don't know, like very like noir-esque kind of like I don't know like
Yeah, the Patreon, Patreon, whatever you call it, is a urban noir
mm,
Patreon.
yes, so yeah, it was definitely like dream dreamscape noir of like bodies and like bodies in mirrors and bodies within dreams and bodies in your phone, and so there is this like I don't know. Like it's interesting that we went from Rudy's piece, which was like a pixelated collage of faces, and now we're in this kind of dream world of this like very like surreal kind of construction of like nudity and like
Yeah, the
strangers.
virtual and the
Like it almost felt like, I mean, I like it's usually this is a very like cliche term, but like Lynchian, like this would be the definition of like Lynchian kind of like kind of dreams coming together to create this like kind of a narrative, but not really. It's more of like a description of like, I don't know, different moments of
yeah.
intimacy.
Well, the POV is like omniscient, so it gives it like distance, but like reach.
Yes. Yeah, it's like going like almost like a camera lens where it's like kind of getting closer and then going away and then looking here and then focusing on this part of a character. Yeah. It made me feel like I don't know, like a pervert kind of because I'm like I wonder where we're going next. Like I don't know. It was definitely I don't know, such a good Flash piece. Um the perfect haha, not to make a joke, but the perfect size, one could say, for, this kind of content. But yeah, I'm excited to see this go up. It's always cool in this reading for y'all to share your work and then to see it get published. I'm like, yeah, that piece was right at the open mic, and everyone thought it was weird, like wicked as shit.
The they have it listed as untitled, even though I titled it. It's
Oh,
fine.
what was the title?
Unsolicited.
Unsolicited. So yeah, untitled, unsolicited. Yeah, some of that it's kind of hard to like. I don't know. I like unsolicited. Did they just not take the title, or did you send it without the
I
title?
don't know. I don't know if he decided to, because the title was there and it
Yeah.
was in the subject of so I don't know if it was an editorial decision that he didn't mention or a mistake. I don't
Um,
mind either way.
yeah. I think either way it works.
I
Yeah.
like like you mentioned, the voyeuristic elements of it, and there's a part where you talk about like the feature that's now disabled in the app. So it gives it this like kind of out of time, like because it's like a
Yeah.
dream, right? So it's like it's just kind of out of time. Like when the fuck is this like today, or but it can't be because like the feature is now disabled, right? So with the pics and shit. No, that was cool. Like I said, it's got a real like voyeur vibes.
Yeah, it brought me back
Yeah.
to like Snap, like I don't know if it was early Snapchat or like later Snapchat where like people figured out how to screenshot the images you would
Yeah,
send to people, which was all like, I mean,
yeah.
when I first found out about Snapchat, where I was like, oh, pictures that you can send and then they go away. Oh, that's like for nudes, right? Everyone was like, no, it's not for nudes, but like put Snapchat on a college campus where every weekend people are getting fucked up. What do people do? They send pictures of their fucking naked body. Like that's what happened. It happened not a lot, but my friends would just be like, "Oh, I gotta go," and I'm like, "What?" And the guy would be like, "Oh, I just got a Snapchat." I'm like, "All right, go on, go do your thing." Like that was the code. That was the code for that. Like that's so fucking funny. That took me back to college for sure. Man, well, Lisa, again, always love your writing and just like super excited that you're getting all these pieces published and out into the world, whether they have, the correct title or not. But love this piece. I love the very spicy elements, and of course, this one having more of like kind of a dream-like kind of quality to it. And I don't know, definitely lean into it. And definitely tell your friends to have more dreams about you because they always seem to be very fucking
But I guess it's
cool.
gonna turn into a spin-off, like
Yes, yes, I really like
because
this.
I still need to send it to them.
Yeah, you definitely have them
That
see if it like they like remember like, oh my God, yeah, like this definitely happened in my dream.
yeah,
Okay.
that'll be interesting. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. The Dream Saga of Lisa Marie. I love it. All right, so that was Rudy and Lisa, and up next, let's see, let's do Peter.
Okay, hi. Let's see. Um, hey Google, play Yoshi Wada horns, Earth horns with electronic drone.
Sure. Playing Yoshi Wada,
There we go.
Earthborn with Electronic Drone 2009, full album on YouTube Music.
Is that audible? I'm assuming it's not audible.
I heard one note. Is it still playing?
Can you hear it now? It's fine if you can't. It's fine if you can't.
I can't. Not right now,
Let's
but
go,
like
let's go,
some of it, like yeah.
I'm not gonna try like last time.
Okay.
All right. This one. Can you hear this? Can you hear these?
I can't hear it.
It's fine. It's also fine. I
Okay.
can do it. Okay. Every time I go. Every time. Every time I have sex. Think of my nemesis. Every time I have sex, I think of my nemesis. Every time I have sex, I think of my nemesis. His name's Uncle Monty. He's a homosexual rapist. Every time I have sex, I think of my nemesis. His name's Uncle Monty. He's a homosexual rapist. Everyone is like this. They won't listen. They mold everything to fit. What I do with the porn? Fit it to an orgasm. Breaking something to make it fix. Okay. Hey, Google, stop. Okay, great.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. That was my piece for today.
I just love that thought of like having sex and thinking about your nemesis. Like,
It's true. I do think about a poet who was slightly blackmailing me, and who was a gay man who was obsessed with me, and
interesting.
kind of would not take a no for an answer vibes. I don't know. I think I'm sort of like, it's the kind of relationship where you're like being like it's like half paranoid, half real, but also we had this whole thing. I actually had to leave my Discord server because he wouldn't stop commenting and like trying to talk to me even after I like made it clear I didn't want to talk to him. That kind of like,
Oh, dude, like the pursuant, like who doesn't
yeah.
get the hint.
Not only that, but like telling please do not contact me. Please do not talk to me. I had to like block him on like several different services. And then like eventually I was like, I don't want to exclude him from this space. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, no, it's always such an awkward, like, kind of like you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to kick a gay dude out of the Discord. That might look bad, but also like this dude is clearly like not getting any hints of like leave me the fuck alone. And like people like that, like you just have to go. You just have to leave, and hopefully
Yeah.
everyone figures out that this person is like on some weird shit, like either like their medication is not working or like they're like just acting like I don't know. It's like I had a person have to like
Uh-huh.
do like restraining orders on people because like they just don't fucking get it. Like
Oh,
in here something's just wrong.
oh my god. It's funny. I think Kat knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, no. This guy, he tried to commit suicide by cop actually. But
Jesus
it's weird.
Christ.
Yeah. At one point, it was just like Philadelphia. Kat, you missed my performance, maybe for the best. uh, And then it's also about With Nail and I. With Nail and I is a huge influence in my writing.
Who is this?
With Nail and I. Have you seen that one yet?
No, with Nil and I.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You should watch it. And it's
1997.
the character for that. It's like it's weird. I mean, I think there's something about kind of like it's like there's like gay panic, right? It's like one half of the coin, and then the other half of the coin is like the feeling of just like of probably like a man like refusing to take no for an answer is kind of like it's not something something of course that like women have to deal with a lot, but it's also something that men have to deal with too, you know.
Yeah.
And
Peter?
like and there's a weird part of me that's I think like self-punishing or something that foregrounds it, and it might be like a buried like I'm wondering is it buried homosexuality in me, like like the part of me that's like tired of women and is like identifying with like people who are like um but then also it's like when you have nemesises, right? When you have people in your life who are like causing you distress, and they show up in your like sexual imagination, you can't get rid of them, right? You know, that's a thing that happens too, because it's like
You
your
know,
body.
Peter, your story,
Yeah,
what you're talking about, really hits home with me.
yeah,
Because when I was younger, and probably, you know, uh, most people wouldn't apply the word cute to me nowadays, but when I was younger, uh, gay men kind of thought of me like catnip.
yeah,
And there's I've had some experiences with gay men who could become very predatory
right,
and manipulative. Um, and one of the things that I at a certain point in my life I had I knew some older gay men, and they talked about they like to cruise for fraternity boys, in the local college town.
Mm.
And the fraternity boys, the fraternity guys were generally, we're talking at a time when it was a very straight heterosexual coded institution, and they would cruise fraternity boys and kind of ply them with drinks and weed and coke,
right,
and you know they'd give them home and be like, "Hey, man, it's just sucking a little dick,
right.
you know. It doesn't make you gay." And I think there is a certain double standard, to the extent that if you're like a middle-aged man talking about doing this to 20-year-old college girls, getting her alone, getting a couple of drinks in her, getting some blow, and coercing her into sex, I think that would be seen a lot differently, you know than maybe you know this implication is like, well, maybe there's something gay in me. It's like, no, man, they're just they're predatory.
I think for me I think that there's like the sexuality is kind of fluid, and then there's also this side of human humanity which is like in response to oppression or of any kind, or just like even like struggle, it kind of like kinkifies you kinkify it, and you like you adapt to it, and you sort of like tend to you can often uh like mold into the role. So if you're like a oppressor, and if you're oppressed, you might end up like enjoying the roles that you're in. And that's sort of like I mean that's like old hat, you know. It's one of my favorite themes in art, of course. But I would say uh Yeah, no, I would say I don't know. Um, I think it's good to be afraid if you're gay, like, or if you think you're gay. Like, oh God, am I gay? Like that's like a good state to be in. Uh, Rudy says all white people should use the N word, and I say every straight person should be afraid that they're gay. That's my thought. You should just be afraid that you're gay. You should like be like uh you should be a panic. You should have fear.
I think there's definitely like so to
Uh-huh.
like kind of as I'm like processing this conversation, there is
Yeah.
like new panic and new fear on all sides of the equation, like within like because you have this new so like for example, there is a what's it called speed dating trend happening in Memphis, and there's like you sign up for three panels. One panel is like you just want to be friends and you just want to establish a friendship. The second panel is like men seeking women, women seeking men, and the third panel is just LGBTQIA plus. So I'm like, what does that mean? It's just they just put a bunch of gay, lesbian, transgender people in a room and they will figure out what makes sense. And like and at first that's like oh panic because like the gays hate the lesbians, lesbians hate the trans, there's like all this weird intergroup hatred. But then that's kind of the appeal to it where you take these risks and these chances. But on the other hand, like yeah, there is definitely like I know certain friends of mine who were in their mid 20s that were married to like 50-year-old men. And yet there's this like kind of fear of like, oh, that person's grooming you. But these are, women in their 20s who have like they're on a career path, they're well read and they're getting their master's degree. So like they're capable of making these decisions, but it's like such a wide discrepancy of like this age gap. But there's definitely like a predatory side to like people that know better and use drugs to kind of like facilitate these relationships. And like in my 20s, like, oh my God, yeah, there were definitely like drugs brought me out of like, sitting at home playing video games, being this like really nerdy, shy kid to like not being confident, but having a less kind of like anxious personality and approaching people, almost to a point where I would just get fucked up and would just kind of like go out into the world. And like that was not a good idea because like two people that are fucked up interacting, trying to have a relationship sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. People get hurt, people,
Yeah.
like, things just don't really work out the way it is thought about up here in your head. And you would think that like Jeff, $20 is $20.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gay, but $20 is $20. But I've definitely had I mean, you look at me, I'm 150 pounds, I'm 5'10. I'm a gay dude's like, weekend delight. So I've definitely had to
Yeah.
tell dudes like, hey man, like it's endearing. There's an endearingness to being desired, but it's like there's got to be a level, like it's kind of like some women that I know, especially in Memphis, where there's this like culture of like a man will call out to you and be like, "Hey, baby, you look so good today," and some women are like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," like I know it, like whatever, you shut the fuck up about it. But other women are like, "Oh my God, I got catcalled today, and I am so anxious, and I can't stay in the city anymore." It's like it's how well you can handle like being perceived, being desired, and having to like regulate your emotions on like existing in the world as a person who is quote unquote a sex object or quote unquote, perceived in a sexual way, which, some people just they can't handle it. They want to look good but not be perceived. Other people want to be perceived but are perceived by the wrong crowd, like I try to be perceived by women, but more often than not, I notice like older men looking at me and I'm like, well, I guess it's a compliment in one way or another. I try to keep an open mind, but I'm very established and like, I like women. I think about women. I think about having sex with women more so than, anything, not more so than anything else, but it's like predominantly within my tastes and interests. But just going back to like the nemesis thing, there is
Yeah.
such like love and hate clearly have this unique kind of like intersection where it's like for me it's like yeah, there are definitely like I think about old bosses that I've had
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
women and like man, they rode my ass and they, made me work hard and
Yeah.
I like when I left the job, I thought back to it, I'm like, yeah, if we were alone in a room, I yeah, I would they could do anything they they wanted to me. I
Wow.
wouldn't say no.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, there's a spiritual concept that my Tai Chi teacher taught us called the concept of bosses, right? Where it's like there's one person in your life who's your boss, and it's like you're constantly like thinking about them and you're like worried either like you have to fight them or you have to please them or something like that. And then it's like eventually you overcome them, right? And like
Ah,
leave or something. But then there's another boss that you always have someone who's like this like person uh who's this like on your horizon, you know. I
yeah.
actually think I have someone like that right now, which is nice. I
It's
think I'm pretty good.
that's so true because like for a minute, like working in the service industry, it was always like the chef.
The chef, yeah. Yeah.
Now I have a chef who is like, he's commanding, but he's fair and he like works with us like in the kitchen. He's not just like barking orders, like he actually like does work. But like other places, there's like this weird imbalance of power. And in those vacuums of power, there's a lot of like sexual, emotional, spiritual tensions that go on. And so yeah, like the concept of the boss, like I know a friend who went through school and ended up like dating their professor. And so like in a way there was like this
Oh
sexual
man.
like kind of compromise with this power imbalance that like
Fuck your professor. I just got back. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get back to that. I want to know about that.
well, I mean, I
Was it a
forget
guy or
it's wait, what'd you say, Tyler?
was it a guy or a woman?
It was a woman who
Okay.
it was the professor was a man and the student was a woman, which I think is
Oh,
more common than an older professor who's a woman going down. Because usually if that happens, it's like elementary school teacher trying to fuck a young boy. It's been
hmm.
I have not seen a lot of college professor women dating down towards their students. I don't know. It's like a maturity, emotional maturity type deal. The big buzzword now on dating apps is emotional maturity, which I
Oh yeah.
feel like I'm already
That
showing up.
philosophy professor did it famously. Agnes,
Oh, is that what
Agnes,
was it?
Agnes something, Cal something.
If anybody knows.
Calisthenics.
No, that's what I do on my free
Oh,
time
It's
in
Collard.
between writing.
Oh,
oh.
Agnes Collard.
Well, you do that
Cal,
between writing?
yeah,
Oh, cool. Does it help?
it does.
Cool.
I have my kettlebell next to me. I
Nice.
got it. I got it off eBay.
Could you like throw that at someone if someone came inside?
No, it's too heavy to like. I mean,
No.
I could, but
What if you swung it like right in their chin?
I would not try to do that.
Oh, okay.
It's 12 kilos.
So what is that in American?
I think it's close to 30 pounds.
Agnes Callard.
Yeah, so there's like a
Agnes.
also that's 26 pounds, 27.
26.
There's
26
Like
and a half.
26, why not like 25 or 28?
Because it's in kilos.
Oh, okay.
so
I
like
don't know
Agnes
that.
Callard reminds me of that movie, The Piano, oh the book, The Piano Teacher, where
The
like
piano book.
there is that like which I'm like waiting. I'm like, where is my like deeply sexually crazy like mid 40, mid 30, like where is she? But like there is that type of woman who is just like there's that like I here is a list of things I want you to do to me. I want to be dominated, but like let's, establish and talk about it. And like the man has to like show this like level of like talent to even like be recognized for this this role, but
Yeah, you have to.
There's so many ugly fucking professors that like people want to do and have sex with just because they have like power in their fucking field.
in their
yeah.
field.
If you're
Yeah.
ugly, go into academia and like get good at shit, and then people will want to fuck you when you're older.
You could be ugly and charismatic too.
Yeah,
That's still
really.
a mistake though.
Charisma, oh, big time. Yeah, being like, oh yeah, I've been published, and it's like, okay, you got published by a journal that nobody reads.
And you could just, I was thinking about this. I just like fucking lie and say I've been published here and here. Like, no one's going to check unless you're like applying for a
Nobody's
school.
reading enough to verify.
Yeah, no one fucking. But that's just so lame to even to like do that. It would be so insecure and lame.
You're also setting yourself up to be fact checked if you ever like.
Yeah.
But that would also be cool. I think also some people do that, right? Some people do like fake bios where they add a bunch of like cool stuff that doesn't exist. Like I was on an episode of the Muppets in the 80s. Like,
You were?
oh,
What?
no, not that old. But, like,
Wow.
that's like the best bio, fake bio.
Oh yeah.
See, I feel like when it comes to that, like I see more often men will lie in their bio or like will make it seem like, oh, I'm this well put together guy and like they don't have a car, they don't have a full-time job, it's like part-time and
Well, yeah,
like
I'm not gonna fucking tell people that. I'm not gonna tell people
you
the
would be
bad
surprised
stuff.
the lengths that men will lie on paper and what I see with women, and of course it's different in the gay community, but like women will take these pictures that are very deceptive with like the filters and like a picture that's older and like men do this too, but like it's what I've noticed. It's
Mhm.
very I don't know the ways in which people will lie like they won't lie, but they will skew the truth.
It's
Yeah.
like a picture in an apartment.
Slight
You
deceive,
know.
slightly deceive you in some way.
Uh-huh.
There was this like clip the other day of some lady bitching that the guy left the date because she used AI in her pic,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
which I hope it's a skit because that's absolutely like ridiculous.
Nah, dude, I've seen, well, there's obviously like so many scam accounts on and across the board on these dating
Yeah.
apps, and it's like clear as day, like the AI generated images of women, like because they all are like this racially ambiguous woman with like the same name over and over and over. No, it's troubling. Damn. Damn, Peter, that one simple little skit, the song and this like idea of desire generated this whole conversation. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's what my writing is approaching. You know, it's a little sad because now I'm not doing as much VR stuff, but and now I'm just doing drumstick type poetry. But
Bro,
so we'll
drumstick
get back.
poetry sounds fucking badass. And I'm glad
Yeah.
that you got to showcase your stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess moral of the conversation, be careful with how you are desired and be honest with yourself and
oh yeah.
set
We're
boundaries,
also-
I guess, and if someone stalks you, block them.
Well, call the police. I think that
But
if you
how long? How do you know? Like how? To what extent? Like how do you know they're blocking or stalking?
if they break into your house,
Okay, that is stalking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if it's only cyber? Like how do you? When? What's the threshold?
then you block them. You don't call the police if it's
Like
cyber.
with cyber, you have to like if they
You
are
have
What
to
if they're just a big
establish it. It's
fan?
very
What if they're a
difficult to
big fan of
establish
yours?
it. It's very difficult to establish it with
yeah,
cyber
true.
stalking, but it's fucking unnerving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like if they send a nude, like what threshold do you get creeped out?
If someone,
Well,
if
I guess
someone,
it varies with the person and with like the relationship they had with the stalker, if they had a relationship or
Mhm.
not.
'Cause I'm a
Obviously,
big
I'm
fan.
speaking from experience.
I'm a big fan of some people, and I go like, I need to back off a little bit. I don't want to freak them out.
Well, like if you're thinking you need to back off, you're probably in a good
Me
space
too.
of not bothering too much.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on because we could go all day on this topic. But thank you,
Are we
Peter.
are we recording still?
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. See, I love including the conversations about the people
Yes.
in the recording. You know, like sometimes it's the conversation around a piece that's just so like interesting, and it really shows like even if something as simple as like a few lines and a drumstick. But all right, so we've done Rudy, we've done Lisa, we did Peter. Jeff, you feeling up to it?
I do, but wasn't Mark on the list before me, or am I mistaken?
We'll do you, and then we'll do. You want to do Mark, then you want to close us out?
Either way, it's fine with me. I will let Mark go first if you'd like to.
Okay, we'll have you as the headliner, the end, the last shebang. So, Mark, you have the floor.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to read two poems, and I will put the links in the group chat. There's one, and I'll put the second one when I'm get to that one. The title of the first poem is Now Don't You Feel Base, or For Coarser Beauty. A woman lots of men and women consider beautiful. A woman lots of men and lots of women consider, if not beautiful, then attractive. And if not attractive, then feel attracted to. A woman to whom more than just a few men and women feel drawn. However, because of the overstated quality of her gaudy beauty, the men and women feeling so attracted never think to acknowledge or even deny this visceral attraction. How beauty, real, ostentatious, genital numbing beauty, both repels and fascinates, sickens and captivates. When you're so beautiful, when you're that beautiful, and with no subtlety to your beauty, no one can see you're only beautiful, that you're nothing but your beauty. The people around you, because of you, they hover, suspended between desire and nauseating vertigo, disgusted with themselves for wanting to be in greater proximity to this female who corresponds a kind of archetype to some viscera inside them. The feature that triggers could be your body or face, the line of your jaw or texture of your skin, the defiant tilt back of your head and prominent chin, the hollowed out sweep of your inner thigh and soft faded denim that's taut but not skin tight, the low wedge heel of your blue leather mule, hooked on the bottom rung of the bar stool your soon-to-be one-night stand is sitting in, might utter words expressed in words, how dare you? Or, less imperious, warn him. The closer you get, the longer you persist, the more they will shun you. Not used to such beauty, beauty you can't look away from, beauty like a wound making your mouth dry. Beauty like the sickly sweet smell of decomposing flesh. Beauty like a glistening red garnet abscess, the sight of which causes your mouth to flood with saliva you have to make a deliberate, conscious effort to swallow because it goes against every instinct you have. Beauty like ligature marks on her wrists and neck your waiter can't help but notice at a romantic candlelight dinner for two. Beauty like the chain link vermilion cross-hatching of self-harm scars on the dimpled, downy expanse of inner thighs. Beauty that makes you want to vomit, like the smell of vomit makes you want to vomit. Beauty like a wine red to black scab you pick around the edge, needing to see what's underneath. But there's nothing underneath you haven't already seen. Beauty like a punch in the stomach, bending you in half to crumple on the floor, which stinks of stale beer and rainy sidewalks. Not accustomed to such beauty as you yourself possess, command, you'll never understand why people around you remain a captive audience to the engrossing details of your daily life until the day when you're finally able to appreciate in a detached, objective way the dissonant aura that so long surrounded you. The second poem I'm going to put in the group chat here. And I'm going to give this poem a little preface. There are two strands in this poem. The first one, or kind of narrative element, is based on a true event that happened in the late 80s, 1988 or 1989, at the Bronx Zoo in New York City, when three elementary school boys were skipping school. And I think this was kind of late spring or late summer. And they were skipping school, spring fever or just enjoying the nice Indian summer. And they ended up at the polar bear tank in the Bronx Zoo. And one of the little boys, two of the little boys were kind of daring one of the other little boys to get in the polar bear tank. And then he kind of dared the other little boys and said they were chicken. And all three boys ended up in the polar bear tank, and the bears killed them. And I read about this in an essay written by the Italian semiologist or semiotician Umberto Eco in his book of essays, How to Travel with a Salmon and Other Essays, which he published around 1992. The second strand in the poem has to do with a man named Arthur Jones. If you look on Wikipedia, there's a bunch of Arthur Jones. This Arthur Jones was born in 1926 in Arkansas, and he kind of had a very colorful life. And at one point in the 1950s, after serving as a pilot in World War II, where he was killing Japanese people in the Pacific Theater, he ended up buying and refurbishing a B-52 bomber and had his own small business traveling around the world to exotic locations and trapping big game animals and transporting them in his bomber to the United States, where he sold them to zoos. And he did a lot of this work in Southeast Asia, Australia, Africa, and South America. And during this time, he got the idea of taking a film crew with him who would make short documentaries about his trapping and hunting in these exotic locations. And then he kind of took these rather crude early documentaries and sold them to TV networks in the 1950s because they were desperate for content, right? They wanted shows and they didn't have a lot of shows. And so he sold these, and they were called Wild Cargo. And you can find some of these early, very, very early, somewhat crude TV shows on YouTube. Anyway, Jones went on to become very rich and famous, primarily through inventing the Nautilus exercise machines, which became popular in the 70s and 80s, and he became fantastically wealthy. So anyway, these two narrative strands are both intertwined in the poem. So without further ado, let's see, somebody, oh yeah, inventor. This is Arthur Jones. Yep, that is the Arthur Jones, and this is in Piker Press. Let's see, whoops. What tab am I? Okay, here it is. Broadside. The polar bears captured as juveniles during an episode of Wild Cargo just after the first years of their young lives, when they were dependent on the mother for survival along the northern coast of Greenland, yellow now, fully grown, taller than generals, intent on red puncture-proof rubber balls smeared with peanut butter, skidding over simulated ice floes. The bears' condition, not that bad, considering humans, maybe they were Puerto Ricans, are harder to digest than fish. Even street urchins skipping school, stripped to white cotton brief underwear on a fledgling and untested macho dare beside the tank. Such is the problem with child care in poor ethnic neighborhoods. The director, producer, and star of Wild Cargo, told by a journalist while being interviewed for Playboy magazine, he was rumored to be on the kill list of a third world dictator who possessed hundreds of hours of the filmed expeditions, as well as some natives imprisoned for having been saved by this white man for whom they'd been working as porters and guides. He says there's no hereafter. what matters: faster airplanes, bigger crocodiles, and younger women. This doesn't mean soaring rates for jet insurance, doesn't have some very far reaching importance, or anyone who says he's not afraid looking out a cockpit to see an engine on fire isn't a fool and liar. But walking into a restaurant in Las Vegas to the palpable electric charge in the air as 100 men turn as one and give a standing ovation to his much younger wife makes it worthwhile. After all, to lead the orchestra, you must turn your back on the audience. Thank you.
Mark, these were cool. I love the background stories of the second poem. That's fucking crazy that those kids jumped into a fucking polar bear exhibit, bro. Oh God. I mean, there's being a dumbass kid and getting into trouble, but like you like at the Memphis Zoo, ain't no fucking way you could do that shit. Like they at least set it up to where it's impossible, but I uh I really loved like Lisa Marie pointed out that last line or I guess collection, that sentence, to lead the orchestra you must turn your back on the audience. And so there is this like interesting kind of, I guess, within this piece, the idea of like nature and like what happens within nature, and I guess the simulation of nature in a zoo, and with this, traveler traveling the world and filming, all of his expeditions, and having everything just kind of happen, is really, really interesting. But the first piece, carrying with the theme that has been going on through this entire reading, beauty, and the beauty of the whole time I was thinking that, it brought me back to this idea of how, for me personally, looking at someone who I think is beautiful, for me, there's a test where, okay, they might look beautiful. They might have all the aesthetics of what makes a woman beautiful, which is, this body that, matches my idea of like beauty standards. But for me, in person, away from a screen, away from just a picture, away from just the presentation on an advertisement, a magazine, it is, I guess, what goes beyond just looks is smell. And there is something unbeatable, tried and true, tested throughout time, of hormones and the release of hormones, and just with the way smell and scent, because a woman can be as beautiful as they can, but if they smell like shit, the illusion breaks. Same with men. A man can have chiseled abs, beautiful long hair, but if they don't wash their ass, next. Swipe left, doesn't matter. But I loved just the kind of intoxication, the intoxicating quality, almost like a drug that beauty has done, or what you present. And I guess what happens now is what beauty can do to people, because they get so distracted by what is presented of beauty that they don't seek out beauty on their own, and they don't form kind of uh their own standards for what is beautiful in real time, in real life. I want to go back to that link that you sent here. But this coarseness to beauty, the attraction, the feeling drawn, and genital numbing beauty, I think, is another thing where you have, again, desire, but there is a desire, here in your heart, a desire here, and a mentality where there is this like codependency of like having a person near you. And then there is the desire sexually, where And you see this with pornography where, a person can just have this lust for another person. And it is, it's quite dangerous, and it's, you see all the time, marriages can fail because of an issue with sex. There, either there is not enough, or there is, impropriety, or the sex becomes stale. And I guess these two people who were once in love with each other, who saw beauty in this partner that they thought they were going to love forever, suddenly kind of crumbles because something is wrong with, this interaction with genitalia. Um, but no, I just loved for this first piece the simplicity of each line, but the way that you were able to just over and over, the word beauty, I don't know how many times it was used, but beautiful as an adjective and beauty as a noun, the nausea of it and how, vertigo, how it kind of affects the mind is just so fascinating to me. And I hadn't seen anybody talk about it in this way before. No, yeah. I mean, I fucking love these two pieces. How did you come out with kind of taking these two ideas of Wild Cargo, the Bronx Story, and then that Arthur Jones character? Was that just something that just kind of happened, or?
It that poem took a long time to write, and there wasn't an immediate connection, in my mind at least, between those two strands. But I felt like there was some sort of connection between Jones and his life, and what happened to the small boys in the zoo. And I guess, when I say that line, such as the problem with child care in poor ethnic neighborhoods, this was something that kind of happened because, it's sort of like today on social media, when something happens, everybody has to kind of give their opinion, give their take, right? And the intelligentsia at the time that this happened in the late 80s, it was like, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, this is a social problem. And one of the big issues that they actually did talk about was like Disney, right? It's like, well, Disney, or the Disney, the way we anthropomorphize animals, right? It's like, oh, cartoons, turn animals into, these cute, cuddly things. And, it's like, you know, you got to teach kids not to get too close to wild animals.
True. Oh yeah,
You
you
know,
see videos of people getting too close to moose. Like moose will
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
kill you, dude. Like
yeah.
same with a
It's
buck with all of
but
those sharp
it was
pointed. Mm,
and Jones' life was kind of stood in stark contrast to that kind of pontificating, or kind of giving these performative sort of opinions, right? It's like he was like, out there, flying fighter jets when he was 16 years old in the Pacific. He was hunting, saltwater crocodiles, and when he was 30, he was fighting in African revolutions as a mercenary. He kind of was just, all of that was just noise to him, you know, and kind of that line, it's all about faster airplanes, bigger crocodiles, pushing yourself, taking on as many challenges as you can, and getting younger and better looking women. I think he was married 5 times. uh, and so it's like I felt like in some way, he was sort of the opposite of that. And one of the things that really makes me like that poem, and we've talked about this from time to time, is political poetry. And political poetry, in my opinion, is very hard to write, because poetry tends to work best through suggestion and imagery and iconography and these sorts of things. And it doesn't lend itself, I really feel, to didactic and morally and politically, ideologically rigid uh, explanations. And I felt like I was able to touch on some political issues in this poem that are important to me, but without necessarily coming across as very high handed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There was definitely.
The idea of political correctness, the idea of language, the idea of race, you know, um, the idea of masculinity, and Jones's idea of that, but doing it in a way that felt organic and natural, and instead of coming across, I hope, like hopefully not coming across as preachy or didactic. But there's a more of an organic quality to the poem. Uh, but like I said, that was a little bit about its composition.
That's super fucking cool. I definitely felt like that poem, as short as it was, there was so much intention with how you constructed it. And I think you're absolutely right. With politics, you want it to be part of, how do I say this? You want it to be part of the world because obviously, the world is set up with political, systems in place, whether it's, hierarchy, whatever hierarchy is going to happen, but with this, Arthur Jones, who is literally, you know, restructuring and fighting within these wars of these political systems, it's implied. There's the implication of this man who is, going about his life as opposed to these kids with this kind of like morbidly like sincere curiosity that ends up getting them killed. This man is very intentional with like, I am operating under the directions of generals. I am here to seek and destroy. I am here to thwart dictators. There is this, I mean, very like machismo. And, you mentioned, the macho-ness with beauty, but like here it is like this man has, I mean, he fucking invents an exercise machine. He definitely, you know, coordinated himself within, his life of service and an active lifestyle of being in the world. And being in the world is to experience the political in the world. And if you're going to write about it, you want to write about it in a way that doesn't simplify it to like this bifurcated, like this way and that way, which is just so American and it's so boring. Like there is so much than just the boring bullshit you see on social media. And it is so annoyingly frustrating because it is so complex outside of the ways that we understand politics, and to go into it through war, through exploration, through conquest, it's way more fascinating and much more nuanced, and that just adds so much depth to your writing, yours and the general you for whoever wants to touch on these topics. And of course, the political understatement for certain events, like these kids, that go into this exhibit. Where were the parents? Why were they alone? Why was there no guidance? Were they did people, were there, certain adults that let them do this? Why did they let them do this? Why didn't they stop them? There's all these different questions that suggest something sociopolitical. Man.
Which by the way, Umberto Eco talks about in the essay. He's like everyone.
I saw you mention that, Peter.
Yeah.
What was that essay? How to Speak to Animals?
It's how to speak of animals and it's from the book How to Travel with a Salmon. And like the opening of the essay is like everyone's saying the kids did it because they were poor, but he's like everyone who's even people who are poor know about bears eating people.
It's true, but like when you're a kid, you don't. I guess what was more important in that moment was like not being a pussy. You have these kids that just are like, like you want to impress your friends. So it's like who can like in my neighborhood it was can you ding dong ditch this neighbor that everyone knew was an asshole. So in a way, it was putting yourself into the cage underwater full of sharks because like what would happen? Would you go up and knock and the guy would come out and grab you and scold you and call your parents and you get grounded? Or were you able to go up, knock, ring the doorbell and just fucking book it? Of course, nowadays you can't do that because everyone's got fucking Ring cameras and activated lights on their house. And so it's becoming
And
more.
this is part of being a young boy.
Yes.
You challenge each other with your friends. You challenge each other's manhood. You try to prove your courage or your willingness to take risks or your strength or your endurance or these things. And it's just part of growing up. And you really hope if you're a father of a boy that he's able to navigate this without taking on challenges that are too dangerous, right? um and that's but you've got to do it. If you're a young man, if you're a little boy, you're probably going to feel compelled to try to prove your toughness, prove your courage in different ways to your friends. Um, and sometimes we have things like sports, but boys are just going to do stuff like this,
Yep.
and it's tragic.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Jones himself, if you read about his life, by the time he was 12 years old, he had run away from home and visited all 50 states, except for Hawaii. He had never gotten to Hawaii, and that that was he was hitchhiking during the Depression, right?
Wow.
And he's lucky nothing happened to him, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's no effing way, right? You could
Nowadays,
have like
hell
a
no.
10 a 10 or 11-year-old boy hitchhiking across the country today. He was continually running away, and the police were continually finding him and sending him back home to his family. And it's always a miracle when we're able to kind of survive our own battles and get to a better place in our life.
Right.
Um,
I think there's
uh,
nowadays such a what would the word be? Such like everybody wants their kids to grow up in safe spaces. I think this goes back to what Rudy was talking about, the safe spaces. This young man, 12 years old, is traveling around the United States with the right conditions, whether they were right in terms of he wasn't being, kidnapped and molested or whatever. Who knows? Maybe if he was molested, he would have done more great things. Who knows? But like there is a certain level of what's the word adversity that a person needs to face that makes them and molds them. And you scrape your knee enough times, you're going to say, I'm fucking tired of getting my knee scraped. How do I stop this? And you build this backbone. You start to build muscle. You start to put hair on your chest. And I think that's lost nowadays because, again, like I was just talking about, homes have Ring cameras. There's a fear of ding dong ditching, and like nobody TPs houses anymore, and like you can't do crank calls on phones. And the way that young boys will challenge each other is to do these like weird challenges, like the Tide Pod challenge, or like eating a spoonful of cinnamon. Like it's not like saying like, oh,
It's like when we see guys the boys who are roller skating, and it's like I see these videos of guys roller skating. I'm like, no fucking way, man. It's like they wipe out on concrete, on like pavement, or guys who do what's that thing where they leap around like they do rock hopping
oh,
or
parkour.
parkour, right? They do parkour, and that's why,
Yeah.
because they need something that kind of has an element of danger and an element of risk, and that teaches them. They learn through that experience, through wiping out, through busting themselves up. And it's like I said, it's a tragic story. What happened to those three boys, and so I wasn't intending to make light of that, but just to kind of use that to introduce these ideas, of nature, and the way we respond to these sorts of tragedies and so on.
Yeah. No, what was I thinking of? I met this man who was from Africa. He's Rwandan, and I remember him telling me about his childhood where they would simulate military exercises. Like you would have these different camps, and I just found that so interesting that like kids way across the continent have this like military kind of like mindset of, I mean, of course, there was like the concept of warlords, they were very familiar with. But, nowadays it's like, I mean, in Memphis and other cities where there is this culture, there is gangs. And so if you are of a certain, if you grow up in a certain area, are friends with certain people, and are exposed to this kind of lifestyle, you can easily find like, hey, you can make more money, you can have more power, and you can have access to cars, women, drugs, whatever, if you do this and if you join us in this kind of war against, our ops, our rival gangs. And, it's about establishing territory, and it's a thrill. If you're young, it gives you this insane, immense sense of purpose. Versus, they'll look at young boys with skating and parkour, and they're like, okay, that's gay. I want to go grab a gun and fucking kill people and rob people and show people who I am. It's like this insane like compensation for like not having the
I don't know, man. That's a reach to call jumping off a roof gay.
That's what
It's
they
like,
would do. They would call it gay because they're like, they're not getting money, they're not getting bitches, they're just jumping around, But like, of course, for me, like, I fucking wish I could like rock climb and do all this insane like athleticism. And, of course, I look at, gang activity, and I'm like, I don't want to go to jail, bro. Like, I'll get raped there. Like, I'm not doing that shit.
it's yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah. But Mark, again, a great piece with great conversation, and I don't know, great themes overall for this reading. I really enjoyed both of these pieces, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look more into Arthur Jones, and I really want to read that Umberto Eco essay. Peter, if you can find a PDF of it, please upload it to the chat.
It's if you just search how to travel with the salmon.
Okay.
Is he still? I've heard of that. I've read that before. Is he still alive, Umberto Eco, or is he passed away?
Yeah, he's fucking dead as hell.
Oh, he is. No, I thought, but he's like in 80. Like, when did he come out with those books? Like 80s, right?
No.
Really?
I
I thought
don't
he was like, is he like 17th? Wait, what era is he in?
I think he was born in 1932.
Okay, so he's not like, yeah, he died in 2016. Okay, it's not like hundreds of years.
No, he's not hundreds. He's not.
Okay,
He's not
yeah,
from a different
He
era.
wrote he wrote The Name of the Rose
yeah.
and Foucault's Pendulum, which
Mhm.
were like really very popular books, paperback mystery novels
I
in
gifted
the
those to someone.
80s. And I think he may have written the Da Vinci Code. Was that Echo?
Uh, oh no, that was
Uh,
by Dan Brown.
oh,
Okay.
but it was
Okay.
close. It was like that same kind of
Yeah, it was in
thing.
that era. And so he was kind of, interesting guy, very interesting semiotician or whatever they call him.
He wrote a good book about how to write a thesis for grad school, and
That's cool.
one of the parts is like, if you don't want to do this, definitely hire someone else to do it for you. It's like everyone does it. It's a important part of the tradition. It's just like, if you're getting a degree just for your career and you don't want to do a thesis, just hire someone to do it. It's fine.
That's hilarious.
That's what they did back then. I remember seeing like back in the day before this is before AI, where you could like hire people to write your shit, and like you would have that level of like thesis. And I always wondered, I always like was curious, like if that's like real. Would
Yeah,
you like really hire someone to write your shit? Like, wouldn't they know? I don't know.
no, you can do that today. You could.
But yeah, I should test that out.
I feel like
Well,
I
professors
I
would almost like prefer that. It's like at least a person fucking wrote it.
Yeah.
I I've heard that I think Matt Forney told me that for a while he was doing that. He was writing thesis, college theses for money.
You'll be a good
Uh,
fucking
he
writer, yeah.
he was working for some kind of company, like as an independent contractor for thesis or college essays, uh, and that was what he said. I don't remember in what context I was talking to him, but since his return to Twitter maybe a year or two ago, I remember him talking about that.
Interesting. Well,
And he
I should
can,
just like
I think he can
I should
write
just
like,
tell people I used to do that. Like it's
what's
part of my
that?
myth. I should just like make that up and say I used to do that as part of my background.
yeah,
I'm
you
mysterious.
should lie. You should lie and tell people that you still do it, and then maybe you'll end up doing it for real.
I would never want to do that. I'll use AI.
I know. That's the thing. There's people lost their jobs probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I takes another
That'd
takes
be
another
such an
job.
interesting movie to like make about like a bounty hunter. So that's a writer. Like a sort of yeah, you know what I mean.
A bounty hunter who also writes essays.
No, like like that's a metaphor. Like they're like a hitman, but like they don't kill people, but they write pieces instead of like, killing people. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I actually
Yeah.
agree.
All
We
right.
should see that. We should work on that.
Yeah.
More collabs. More collabs. All right, we're gonna move
We'll
on.
debut it at AW. Okay.
All right, y'all work
Hilton,
on your
thank you
WP.
as always for hosting this space. Thank you for the very kind words and the great conversation.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you to the Peanut Gallery, Tyler and Peter. Of
Welcome.
course. Oh no, my jacket. All right. So without further ado, to close out the night, we have my favorite publisher, a man who I've been thinking about recently because I've had some people compliment me on my book, Abuser, and I always forget that it was around this time. Whoa, gosh, what was it? 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And then where Jeff was like, Jeff Schneider got me to send him a manuscript when I was drunk one night. Or he didn't get me to, he just asked me and I was drunk and I was like, I'll send him something. And yeah, he published me and he published Rudy and He's publishing a bunch of more people in this space, and it's just a fucking pleasure to have him. Appreciate the weirdos. But yeah, Jeff Schneider.
Hey everybody. Yeah, I've been kind of skitzed out and depressed and sick of winter, so whatever, I keep on writing. So this might be kind of shit, but we'll see how it goes. I just have two poems that I'll try to bust out really quick. And it's actually kind of ironic or weird because I think earlier when John Padula, Johnny Hollywood was here, he was saying he was sitting in his car and one of the songs he read was or discussed was Vacation All I Ever Wanted by the Go-Go's, which is an 80s anthem, you know. And the irony is the title of this poem is Vocation All I Ever Wanted. And it's kind of about, you know, applying for shitty jobs and not to define it too much, but it's kind of a call and response type of deal. So fucking whatever. I'll just start reading it. So vocation, all I ever wanted. Experience and education, a degree in a related technical field or certificate or diploma from a school in a related field. 5 years experience with 3 years supervisory experience. In-depth knowledge of systems. 5 trips around the slavery sun, including 3 revolutions wielding a whip of dominance. Knowledge, skills, and abilities. Carries out responsibilities in accordance with an organization's policies and procedures. Ability to work with a diverse population. Well organized, detail oriented, and able to prioritize work. Team builder, inspires and motivates others to perform their best. Distribute government issued talismans to appease the death cult. Physical demands and work environments. The physical demands and work environment characteristics described here are representative of those that must be met by an employee to successfully perform the essentials function of this position. Body toll, perching, drifting, hoisting, causing back pain of 500 pounds, limb damage, burden trafficking, oral, anal noises, ear ringing, step falling, ladder climbing, brown nosing. Equal opportunity employer. We are an equal opportunity employer. All qualified applicants will receive consideration for employment without regard to race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, pregnancy, age, national origin, disability status, genetic information, protected veteran status, or any other characteristic protected by law. Recovery-friendly workplace. We are committed to creating a healthy, safe, and stigma-free work environment for those employees impacted by addiction. Work positive, RFW, recovery-friendly workplace, $5 to $9 per hour. Shame evacuated labor camp terrarium, failed ethno-state leftovers molding, recycled doggy bags, broken break room refrigerators, borrowing against property with meth head parasitic gay grades, stereotypical usury, need food to eat today, not yesterday. All right. That's that one. Shit. This next one is kind of a fucking stupid title, but old games. Loud foreigners stole our tax dollars, took our land, our women, replaced us in our country, our island. Control N. It didn't matter. Gross strangers ingest dirty dishes, potatoes, penne, gefilte fish, rice and beans, tacos, Peking duck, KFC, kielbasa. Control N. It didn't matter. Talking Trump doll, eBay discount, Satanic Temple Lego set, Microsoft coal mine souvenir, Ruth Bader Ginsburg air freshener. Command Shift 3 to remember. At the core, with humans, the only reason we cannot have nice things is the enemy within. Just around Christmas, suicide, stress mess. The itching begins, not of cancer nor gout, of the careless need to be wicked to others, unloving, stealing soul from oneself, expressing evil, and the removing of one's presence. Control, Alt, Delete. It's over. All right. That's all I got, fellas and ladies and gentlemen and others.
Hell
Love
yeah.
you all. Love everybody tonight.
Thank you, Jeff. And we love that you were able to end the night with, man, oh, the vocation, all I ever wanted, brought me back to two things. The fastest rejection I ever got for a job. I was applying for a nonprofit. I made up this great cover letter, my resume, and I applied. And no shit, an hour later, a fucking human created email came into my inbox and we're like, we're sorry, we're going to consider other options. And I'm like, took you an hour to fucking read me and delete and just say no? That's like no interview, nothing. And then I had another, I work at a kitchen right now, and there's been a weird trend of guys coming in with a sponsor and their sponsor being like, hey, can we interview for a job? And of course, my chef is like, why are there two of you? And the one guy's like, well, this gentleman lives with me. I'm his sponsor. And it's like, can we please get people in a kitchen that aren't coming off of meth? Like, is that too hard to fucking ask? But there's such a fucking annoying, like that whole first piece was just LinkedIn. If it was like if you translated LinkedIn into this poetic kind of just like nails on a chalkboard, because I know that verbiage so fucking well, and it is so soul crushing, and it's also so like it's black and white, but apply it into the like actual real world. It's so not true. I've been to so many job interviews, and again, I'm in the South, where people have asked me straight up, they're like, "Are you a Christian?" And I'm like, "That's illegal. That's so illegal. You can't fucking ask me that." But of course, I lie. I tell them I've been baptized and I go to church every Sunday. If I fucking don't. There's a lot of like, hey, I know this person. If you can just kind of mention my name in the interview, whatever. It is so just applying to jobs now with the AI element too, where you go on Indeed and it's like, would do check the box if you are wanting if you want your application to be AI reviewed, which is like almost seems like a trick question. Like, do I say yes because I don't have anything to hide, or do I say no because I want a real person to look at this? But does that say something about like I don't trust AI? Like, man, I fucking hate. I'm just glad I have a job. I being unemployed and having to deal with that world was so fucking annoying. Having to bullshit all of the like control. This goes into your second piece, just control, copy, pasting my cover letters, changing different words to match whatever job I was going to. But the second piece definitely feels like a more passionate kind of like just putting all of your emotions on the table, definitely like, this has been a very weirdly depressing winter. Um, I don't know what was kind of like the impetus for the second piece. Did you write it recently, like during this winter?
Yeah, man, both of these I wrote probably last couple weeks, and it's a struggle because I'm not writing shit nowadays because yeah, just don't have the energy, I guess.
Yeah, I feel you.
But you know,
I
one
had
thing I
a,
like when I think it was shit, man, probably this week, uh the reading you did where it was kind of like the graveyard obituary type of stuff. And I really like taking that kind of like commercial writing, like writing for, you know, just to document something and blending it in with something more trippy or surreal. And, so I've been scouring Indeed for like the weirdest, most offensive, insulting job application posts, and I tried to capture just how ridiculous the verbiage of it is. Like, like what system are you talking about? Like what does this even mean? It has nothing to do with the real actual job you'll be doing 3 months in. So it's this whole charade that's going on. And I kind of like that. And I feel kind of similar to, some of the stuff that you were doing, where it's like whoever wrote that was doing it probably paid to write that
yeah.
and document something about somebody's life, and it's very kind of like unemotional, but I think you can pull it into things that are more, well, at least what I was trying to do is point out the absurdity and surrealness of how fucked up some of this writing is. So just fucking with language, man. It's a pastime of mine, I suppose.
But it's good to do that because you're able to laugh, like we are now. Like you look at how like the seriousness of like the white collar world, and like you'll see the verbiage and like marketing ad campaigns and like newsletter and like email chains, and you're just like, I cannot imagine a human being saying this with a serious face. Like, if we make eye contact, I'm gonna look at them and like, are you okay? Like, do you need help? Like, where's the gun being pointed at your head to make you say this shit? Um, I definitely understand this winter with writing. I had a project lined up where I felt like I was like, all right, I'm like 80% done. I might get it published this year, but something with it, I looked at it and I'm like, nope, scrapping it. I'm gonna keep like maybe like 30% of it, and I just want to work more to like fill it in with writing that I feel will make it a better project. And it's been less of it's been a little bit of like I don't know what to write, and also like I'm wanting to delete a bunch of shit that I've already written because I just can't look at it anymore, or like it gets published and that um dopamine hit that I used to get when I got published at like a press has just kind of like gone away because it's not doing what I wanted to do for me. Cause like, of course, back in the day, like I was, working at bars and I would tell women like, hey, I just got a poem published. And of course, getting laid there, baby. Like, oh my God, you got published? Wow, tell me more. Nowadays, I'm not going to any bars, and I get to tell my coworkers at work, like, oh, I got a poem published, and my chef is like, oh, that's really cool. By the way, can you hand me the food you're making over there on the fucking hot stove? And I'm like, yes, chef. So it's like it gets lost in the cracks, and you get your day of celebration, and then it just you got to keep going. You got to keep going, and at least this winter I wasn't sick with the flu. Last Christmas I had the flu and it fucking sucked, fucking horrible. But now I think that there's like, I mean, there's these protests that are going on, which puts a damper on social media. There's a pinball magazine that I follow. They're called Nudge, and I love them. I love them very much, but they got into the politics, and I was like, focus on pinball, please. Like, I get it. I get it. You got to say something. Like, if it's on your mind and you live in this state and you got to do, well, like, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But I follow you for pinball. Please. Like, there is no protest pinball machine. There is no, like, fucking killing cops pinball machine. Like just stick with, I don't know. It's like making me crazy because like it's like every goddamn start to a year since January 6th, there's always got to be some fucking bullshit that goes on that happens. And I just want like good news for once. I want there to be some like happy hype of like, films that are coming out that are exciting, art being released, people like my friends being published. Last year was fantastic for that because like, John Padula got published, Rudy got published. Cletus came out with some more books. I think last year was when Tyler and we did our podcast. I forget if that was last year or the year before. But and like your book, Jeff, was published, and I was happy enough to fucking give it a read, and I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, this year is not. There's not a lot of optimism right now, but there is a lot of. I mean, at least we're doing this. At least I got the balls to just say, hey, every Friday, let's vent, talk about our problems, read our pieces that we're proud of, and just kind of get out of our shells. Because, man, I don't know what the fuck else is, gonna do it for me to kind of bring back that old writing dopamine that is just kind of like swimming in the ether of, the writers that are all about the white collar, like I keep saying white collar as if that's like uber specific, but like the academic journal types and the like, I don't know, uppity, like, oh, I don't like offensive writing. I just write for fucking Simon Schuster, whatever. I don't know. I'm rambling, but you got me on a good ramble because goddamn, it just like,
Yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate you doing this on Friday nights, man. It's awesome. And to be honest, I pretty much like self-segregated my, put myself aside because I understand I'm a dark cloud right now. So I hope others are not feeling this way. I hope they're motivated. I hope they're writing a lot and doing, their shit and feeling positive. But sometimes you just got to admit, hey, I'm not on my fucking A game and I should probably just like put myself in timeout, So, give me some sunshine. I'm not a winter guy, man. So I got to just sweat it out. And yeah, we're getting like 2 feet of snow tomorrow. So,
oh fuck.
you know, but what
Dude,
do
you're getting like, wow, because Memphis, we're getting, so they said that like it was supposed to start the winter storm was supposed to start. It has not started. We're supposed to get half an inch or an inch and a half of ice, which is like stressful as shit. But dude, feet of snow, that is fucked up, brother. And I hope that the kids don't get sick. I hope that, you and the wife are, well stocked on supplies. And I hope that your job is not too stressful. I know that that's always, a source of stress is work. And I don't know, hopefully you can find some peace because even if you might think that you're the only dark cloud, like trust me, like what happens offline, man, people are definitely scared to talk about how fucking depressed they can actually get and like I mean yeah, it's like beyond words. It's just a feeling where you're like, damn, I really probably should talk to somebody, but also therapy it's like, it's tough to find the right therapist and my friends have been really good to like take me out of my home and like I've been able to like go out and do stuff. But yeah, man, I'm ready for if not a happy snow day, I want the fucking sun to come back because goddamn, this has been a wild January.
Yeah, hell yeah. I talked to my cat. He just never talks back. So,
Man, yeah, my cat over here, she just likes to one of my cats, I have like a collection of coffee table art books, and they just sleep on top of it. And I'll hear her like push off the books off my bookshelf, and I'm like, I think that's her way of telling me to get out of bed and just go live life. So subtle, communicative strategies there. But peace and love to your cats. Peace and love to you, Jeff. Just know that no matter what, you have made a lot of people really, really happy, and you have literally made dreams come true. And you've also got me laid by having me publish a book. So,
How many times?
that makes me feel good.
How many times? Not that many. Maybe like once or twice.
Oh,
Not as many times
I
as I
bet
would
more.
want.
I bet more. You're just being modest.
See, I don't know. I don't know if like people were like, "Oh wow, he has published a book. I want to have sex with him," or if it was we had sex and then I was like, "Oh, I have a book," and they're like,
Oh,
But I don't know. Like I have like the worst like what would you call it? Like not toxic personality, but I guess on
no,
paper.
you don't. You're like the friendliest fucking guy, man.
But like on paper, I am a single white only child who studied philosophy, and I have
That's
written.
hot, bro. That's hot right there. I fuck a guy like that.
People would run away from me if I did not.
No.
Like my face wasn't on that resume. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
people would be like, "Who the fuck is this school shooter ass motherfucker?" Like the only thing, my only saving graces are, of course, I look like a somewhat normal person, and I'm charismatic, and I have background in theater, so I like am expressive with my facial features and my voice.
There
And
you go. Yeah.
pinball's weird and cool, and there's
It
never
is.
been like a serial killer pinball player or like
Not yet.
not yet. Not yet. Fucking A. Well, I think that is a great piece, collection of pieces by Jeff Schneider to end the night. I thought about reading something, but I honestly don't have anything. And also, I need to go get, I have some king cake in my refrigerator, and it's been calling my name this entire reading, and I didn't want to walk away. So, good night to everybody. I will keep this Zoom going for the after party. But once again, this has
Are
been
you leaving like the after party?
no, no, I'm staying. I'm staying. I
Oh,
gotta go get
good.
I gotta go,
Lord,
I gotta
good.
go like 2 feet to behind me to go to my refrigerator.
What's king cake? Is that like Hawaiian?
Did you not know what king cake is?
I think I know. I'm a
Oh
little
my
drunk right
God.
now.
I it's the Mardi Gras cake.
Oh,
It's like traditional with the icing and it's got different
okay.
almond flavors and
I've
there's a
never
little
had that.
baby. There's a plastic baby they put in that motherfucker. And if you get the baby in your slice, it's good luck. Sometimes
Okay.
the baby is white, sometimes the baby is black, sometimes the baby's like gold. It's
Wow.
yeah.
Do you wear the baby on your head?
No, it's like a small
Oh.
baby, like teeny tiny little
What do you
baby.
do with it after?
Keep it.
Do you eat it?
No, it's not an edible baby.
But what if you swallow the baby?
There have been issues where people will take big old fucking bites and they will choke on the baby.
Ooh,
So some of the cakes don't have the baby.
lame. You gotta have the baby in the
You
cake.
gotta have the baby. That's my belief. You have the fucking baby. If you don't have the baby,
Yeah.
it's not real. You are diluting the Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday experience. Oh, Lisa, that's what it is. You're supposed to host the next party. That's what the it means when you get the baby.
Oh,
Yeah, you host the next.
that's strange. I guess. Yeah.
It's a
That's a
southern
weird
thing.
responsibility. That's not like I feel like that's like I wouldn't maybe want that.
Well, then don't get the baby.
Yeah,
Just
true.
pretend you didn't get it and just take the baby and put it in the cake. It's a big cake. So,
Hmm.
anyways, all right. My name is Morgenrede, Media Agnostic Doom Journaling every Friday, 7:30 Central Time on Zoom. Open mic. Message me to be put on the list to read. And good night.